strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome everybody, this is Bulldog here, and today we want to take a look at the 3 new packs that CG just recently came out with, and we're going to find out if they are actually worth considering. So when I say worth considering, I would argue that almost everything in this game is terrible value, but we have to look at this. We have to look at this relatively speaking here. So compared to just buying a box or a chest, crate, vault, whatever, and spending those crystals directly in the game, we're going to look at the amount of the value within the packs in terms of crystals, convert that, divide that by what we're paying, and we're going to get a crystals per dollar value. So if it's less than 134, absolutely no way do you want to consider it. If it's greater than 157, then yeah, that could be decent value if you like what you're getting in the pack. So these are the packs we're talking about right here. So Core Gear Bundle 1, Bundle 2, and Bundle 3. $10 to $50 in price range. Let's start with Core Gear Bundle number 1. You're getting gear here, and all 4 of these gear pieces are worthwhile. They're valuable pieces of gear. They're things that if you're going to spend money on gear, these are pieces that it is okay to have. So let's take a look at the actual crystal value that we're getting here. It comes out, if you're just looking at the gear, to be 149 crystals per dollar. So if we swing back to the gear piece here, so if you were to buy the $9.99 box, since that's the same price, yeah, this is actually a better value as long as you're wanting to spend it on those gear pieces, which again are high value gear pieces. But it's also less than if you typically buy a vault. So if you typically spend $100 at a time, you're better off spending that money on a vault if we're just looking at the gear pieces. Now, if you factor in the Omegas, like right now there's an Omega event going on. You can buy an Omega for 200 crystals by refreshing that event. The ship Omegas aren't really the same, but I included them as the exact same value, 200 crystals per Omega. Now, if you need those Omegas, the value jumps up to 188, which is pretty solid value. And then you've also got, if we flip this over here, you've also got a little bit of credits, some ability mats. Most people aren't going to be needing those. Most people are not even going to be buying the Omegas. So see, when CG is pricing these, it looks like they are putting a lot of value into those Omegas, even into the credits that they have in there. Most people don't want to buy those or aren't going to be spending crystals. They're not refreshing the event. If you're not refreshing the event to get more Omegas and use your crystals that way, then you're probably not interested in buying them for cash either. So you're probably just looking at the gear value on here. But if you do really want to buy everything in here with the Omegas, with the credits, then yeah, this is actually a pretty good value. And we don't know what it is, but if you look on the right side, it says purchase this rare gear bundle to unlock a second core gear bundle for purchase with even more gear. It doesn't give us details on what those actually are. I would assume that's also better value. It says you get more gear. It doesn't say if the price changes. My assumption is the price stays the same and you get more. So that could increase the value there. I don't know what that is. If you have bought this, leave a comment for us so we can know what is actually in there. I'm not going to buy this because I don't think it's that great of a deal. Usually whenever I buy things, I'm just buying vaults, so I'll get more value buying a vault. So I'm not going to be buying that. But let's go on to the second one. I'm not going to be buying any of these, spoiler alert. I don't think they're that great. But we'll look at number 2 here. So number 2, we've got more pieces of gear, more Omegas. It's basically just more of the same thing, except the gear value, I believe, I say if you're buying it straight from crystals, it's kind of the same, but the rarity of the gear has definitely gone down. Like, look at some of these pieces. I don't need this piece. So most people aren't going to need that piece. The 1,400 of that piece, there's not a lot of interest. That's not something that I would actually want to buy. But let's assume for a second that you want all of these pieces of gear. Here is the actual gear value. It's still only 142 crystals per dollar, and that's assuming that you need every single piece and that you actually want to buy every single piece at this time. If you take out even just one of those pieces, the value falls below that threshold. If we pop that up to 134 crystals per dollar, if you're not needing all of that gear, it definitely falls below that. You should not be you'd be better off buying the $10 gear packs. And this is a $24 pack, so we should really be looking at more of the chest, the 140 crystals per dollar. Yeah, if there's a single piece that you aren't really that interested in, then that value drops tremendously. Again, the value that CG is putting in this is with the Omegas. If you look at it, if we factor the Omegas, there are 5 ship Omegas, 5 of the squad Omegas. They vault that value up to 222. So yeah, if you actually want all these pieces of gear, if you actually want the Omegas, you've also got some credits in there that I didn't even factor in, because nobody really wants to just buy $750,000 or 750,000 credits with money, I would think. But if you actually want everything, then yeah, it's better than buying a vault. So that's where CG feels like this is a discounted value, but it's really not. Then the percentage of people that want every single thing in here is got to be so low. Most of you, I've got to say, absolutely stay away from this. It is not worth it, and you're going to see the same thing when you go over to the $50 pack. The gear that they put in there, like, look at this. It's the same thing there. I mean, this is piece got over 1,000 of. Don't really need that. Some of these others are certainly more valuable. Yeah, I've got 441 Carbonis. That's just because there's a little bit of a hoard on this account. That's still a valuable piece of gear. But again, let's assume that you actually want every single piece of gear. What's the value look like? It's at 150 crystals per dollar. And if we flip back over here, if you're buying a crate, that's at 147. If you're just getting the gear, you're better off just buying the crate, and then you can choose exactly what gear you want, because you probably there are 9 pieces of gear there. You're probably not wanting all of those right now, and there's, like I said, for most people, there's going to be a few pieces in there that you don't want, period, that you're never going to really be in a spot where you feel like you need that specific piece of gear. So it's just not worth it. But again, if you put in the Omegas there, and then you've got some credits and that type of thing, the value goes up to 230. So if you literally are wanting everything, then yeah, that's a great deal. But the percentage of people that are actually wanting all of that has to be so low that it's not even worth addressing. Virtually nobody is going to be better off buying this pack. It's another example of terrible packs in this game. They just don't provide any value with some of these things, and it's really frustrating. But to me, I feel like they're just taking advantage of people that are buying everything. There's a lot of whales in this game that something pops up, they're going to buy it because they feel like if it's in a pack like this, it's got to be a discounted price, right? It's got to be a better value. So spend their money on that, and they just buy everything. It's not worth it. You're better off just going and buying vaults and spending the crystals on what you actually need. Because unless you are really, really short on both types of Omegas, you don't want to touch these deals. So sorry guys, but anybody who's hoping to find some good value in this game with this update, it's not here. You're gonna have to look elsewhere. Probably gonna be looking for a long time. But anyways, that's all I've got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know I got a lot of positive feedback on the last one, so I'm hoping I can do some more of these every time some new packs come out, if you guys continue to like it. So let me know what you want me to do in the comments. But as long as the feedback continues to be positive, I'll continue to do the math for you guys, so you don't have to, and you can see what type of value we've got in all these packs. So thanks a lot. I will see you all later.